Villain, you know, like he's the typical villain that you have in any story where, you know, a lot of people misunderstand him, you know, but he's always looked at as the bad guy, but he really got a heart of gold, you know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
On March 23, 2006, underground rapper MF Doom and legendary producer Madlib dropped their album that would go on to change the course of rap and hip-hop forever. Born in 1971 and 1973 respectively, Doom and Madlib would both get into the hip-hop scene around the early 1990s, with Doom going under the name Zevlov X in a rap group called KMD, causing much damage, or more importantly, a positive cause in a much damaged society. This was very similar to another rap group at the time, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, or, as most people know him now, Will Smith. Oh god, that is horrifying. Okay, there we go. While his rap group with his brother, DJ Subrock, was getting ready to release their first album, Daniel Dumoulet collabed with the hip-hop group Third Base on their hit song, Gasface.
A special appearance by KMD's Zevlov X. A gas face can either be a smile or a smirk when a pair's a monkey runs to work once clockwork. Perking is built to the rim of my cup. Don't tempt me, you're empty. So fill her up as I'm talking coffee or cocoa. Is you loco? Cash or credit for unleaded? That's a no.
Comparatively, Madlib joined a group made up of his childhood friends from his hometown in Oxnard, California, named the Loot Pack. Their first appearance came after KMD's time in 1993, making an appearance on the Alcoholics album 21 and Over. These two seem to have very similar upstarts, both being in music since their early childhoods, both creating successful hip-hop trios and having promising careers ahead of them. But this all changed on April 23rd, 1993.
But that was probably one of the craziest things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was crying, that's how bad it was.
At this time, KMD had already released their first debut album, Mr. Hood. This first album launched KMD into a huge success in the industry and allowed them to start working on their second album, Black Bastards. This album was almost cut before its release due to controversy over the cover depicting imagery of an African American man being hung in a game of hangman. Finally, as Black Bastards was set to release, Doom's brother, DJ Subrock, was hit and killed in a collision with a motorcycle while trying to cross the freeway. After the release of Operation Doomsday in 1999, fans were waiting patiently for the masked villain's return. But before Madlib and Doom first collabed in 2002, there was little to no chance of Madlib returning to hip-hop. He had found his new style in his one-man jazz group, Yesterday's New Quintet. But with his new record label Stone's Throw becoming near bankrupt after moving to LA, they desperately needed something that would get the label back on their feet. That something came in the form of Doom. After being sent some sample beats of Madlib's by a mutual friend, Doom agreed to fly out to LA and record music with him. Although this wasn't the type of rich recording studio you would see for such hip-hop gods, Stone's Throw had become so financially unstable that the only place left for the two to record was an underground bomb shelter in Peanut Butter Wolf's rented house. I'm not joking. Doom's manager, overseeing this deal with Stone's Throw, demanded a $1,500 upfront pay, including the flight from Daniel's house in Georgia to the label's studio in LA. Although this demand couldn't exactly be met, at least not yet, since at the time, Stone's Throw and its founder Peanut Butter Wolf had gone pretty much bankrupt.
Only $10,000! That's not so bad. I'll just subtract it from today's profit. And there's no money in here!
As the meeting between Madlib and Doom progressed, the duo started to realize the potential they had to make an album together. Throughout the multiple weeks that the album's first recording was made, Doom and Madlib would barely speak, coming up and down from their separate parts of the house to either listen to a beat or smoke a blunt.
The process wasn't really a big deal. We just hung out, went to clubs, got drunk. I'll hand him a beat CD. I'll go to sleep. He'll work on some music. He'll go to sleep. I'll wake up. I'll make some more beats, listen to what he did. We might take some shrooms together if we awake at the same time, and then listen to the music when it's done.
Although Madlib and Doom seemed like the perfect duo, not everything had gone to plan. During Madlib's trip to Brazil, he had found the sample which would be used for one of the most popular songs on the album, Raid.
Here we go!
This sample came from an old song named American Latina, which he found at a bazaar. Later that night, while Madlib was out, someone broke into his hotel room and stole the unfinished CD from the album. And because of this, the album was leaked online, or what was made up to that point. After this leak, both Madlib and Doom became unmotivated to work on the project and moved on to other things, with Doom releasing his next character in his story, King Ghidorah, and his debut album, Take Me to Your Leader. This character was meant to be an alien from space who feeds Doom his rhymes and inspiration for his songs. While Doom made King Ghidorah, Madlib made his next album, Shades of Blue. Both albums would perform well, with King Ghidorah becoming a good follow-up to Doom's time-traveling rapper, Victor Vaughn. But after some time without speaking, both decided to get back together and finish the album. This time, it was mostly spent rewriting song lyrics, or cleaning up beats, as well as adding new ones like the sample Madlib used for Raid back in Brazil. After years of struggle and many setbacks, Madvillainy was finally released to the public, and it became one of the biggest hip-hop albums ever made. Overall, what made Madvillainy so beautiful was its history. Nowadays, the budget for art in the media has become astronomical, and I'm not just talking about music, this applies to YouTube as well. Madvillainy challenged big record labels by producing an album with such a low budget that completely broke the charts. Madvillainy shows us that if you have a passion, and of course an evil master plan, you can make something absolutely beautiful.
What?